It's Don here from the board. So, COVID-19 is running around pretty rampant. It's a pandemic. Everyone's affected. Practically every country in the world now has cases of COVID. So, what I'm wanting to reach out to everybody is we need to be in a position to look after each other, and we need to be in a position to essentially reduce the spread of this, reduce the transmission, to slow it down so that all of our medical systems can handle it no matter where you are in the world. You know, there's some very easy steps, and Dr. Dan Swan from one of the research institutes over here has put out some really great information and some very simple rules to help reduce the spread and to, as I say, flatten that curve. So, stay at home if you can. Work from home if you can. I'm working from home now. My wife is working from home now. You know, we only go out to do the shopping or to drop off things or pick up things from my parents. That's it. Do not touch anything when you go out if you have to go out that you don't have to. If you don't touch stuff, you're not going to pick up stuff on your hands, and therefore there's less likely that you're going to transfer it to other things for other people to touch or to yourself. Don't touch other people. Same thing applies. If you don't have anything on your hands because you don't touch anything, you don't touch other people, you can't transfer anything that is on your hands to other people. And of course, don't touch your face if you don't have to. Because if it's going to be on your hands and you touch it to your face, and it's going to get on your nose, get on your mouth, get it in your eyes, that's what's going to help its transmission to you. So if you can keep onto those, as well as washing your hands on a regular basis with good hygiene, make sure you wash 20 seconds in between, inside, outside, fingertips, around the wrist, around the thumbs, you're going to make a big impact in reducing the likelihood that you're going to transmit it to yourself or to others. So, you know, make sure we look after each other. Make sure you look after yourself. There's going to be a lot of people in self-isolation now. At least I'm lucky that with my wife and my daughter, we can keep each other good company. And with the wonders of technology, I get to chat to people all the time online. You know, I can talk to my parents on the phone. I can talk to my parents on Skype. You know, reach out to people who you think that might be isolated, because your mental health right now is such an important issue during these really challenging times. Okay? If any of you guys need somebody to talk to, even if it's via email or private messages because of different time zones, reach out to me, send me an email to theboardpodcast@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to keep in touch with you to help you along. So with that, I hope you enjoy this following video. Thank you. It's Don here from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. Today we're going to be having a look at the Kale NovelKeys Cream Switch. So, thank you very much to Mitenolet for providing these to me. I'm pretty sure it was Mitenolet, or maybe it was Daily Clack. I've got such a massive backlog of stuff that I actually completely have been inundated and forgot when stuff came in and who provided it. So if it's not one of those two, I apologize sincerely for not remembering. I may have even bought these. I honestly don't remember. I get stuff in and then I remove it from packaging so that I can condense the size and volume, and I put it together, and I have this box which I was putting stuff in, and now there's no markings, there's no handwriting, and so on and so forth. But if somebody sent these to me for review, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if I bought them, well, I just don't remember. My bad. Such is the life. So cream switches are relatively new to the market, and let's just have a look at NovelKeys' site, because they worked with Kale to produce these. And this is really interesting because they are meant to be a self-lubricating POM switch for the housing and the stem, which means the material rubbing against itself should be quite smooth. It's self-lubricating in some way. And it also features the MX style latching. So rather than the standard Kale latching, which is the big block bar, it uses two individual legs, right? And we can have a look at that. The only thing is that they are a lot more expensive compared to standard switches, which is the Kale switches. The non-box switches are around $2.80 for a pack of 10, whereas these are $6.50. So you can see that they have a lot more. Now it's a linear switch, 4mm travel, 2mm operating, which is interesting because typically they are around a 1.7mm operating distance, 55 gram and 70 gram bottom out. Okay, so let's pull one out and check it out. Rightio. So it's a very drab color. It's probably the best way of describing it. I can see why they call it cream because of its coloring. And if we have a look at this, there's the 2 feet, the MX style tabbing, compared to say the more traditional Kale switches, which is one big block that goes all the way across. The molding's pretty standard, and also we can see that the feet are also Kale's quite normal 1 silver 1 copper type of pin. In regards to the housing, it supports SMD as well as through-hole LEDs and diode options, so that's nice. And it's got Kale stamped into the top of that. There we go. You can see Kale there on the bottom. The lighting against this cream color is making it really hard for it to focus because it's such a white-ish, off-white cream color. The reflections on it's making the camera struggle a bit. Now, how does it feel? Yeah, okay. It's pretty smooth. It's very smooth. I am feeling resistance though, and I'm not sure where that's coming from. I feel like it's coming from the contact with the housing, but I feel like it's not coming from the rails. I feel like it's coming from these bump bars. So what I'm talking about is, in order to reduce the wobble, you'll see all around the housing there's these contact points. There's 2 on each side of the stem. They're just these little bumps, right? Now if I was to depress that, you can see these rails that run all around it, and you've got your standard stem rail as well on the side there, right? So you're actually introducing a lot more contact points on this stem, and I think that's what I'm feeling, because it moves really well. It moves quite smoothly, but there is a certain edge to it, which is really interesting. Now of course if you went and lubed these, I'm sure these would be quite smooth, because it's a very nice sensation as far as linears go, if you like linears. Now the upstroke is actually quite loud, I feel, because the POM material is quite a brittle, hard material. So I would say that if you're going to think about the sound factor, it is going to be there on the upstroke. So it is quite distinct. Not that it's a bad thing. Like for me, I like clicky, so that doesn't bother me in the slightest. But you may want to consider that that is going to be a factor for you if the upstroke sound is going to be a bother. Now of course if you lube against it, then that'll probably dampen that as well. So yeah, cream switches. It's a nice look. I quite like that. It's very muted. In regards to the smoothness factor, a vintage black, a lubed vintage black is actually still smoother, but then again it's lubed, right? If I compare it against, say, the box black, to be honest, this box black is actually very similar. The wobble's good though, because the stem is holding it quite tight, and once again it's very similar to that box black. So is it worth the extra cost? To be honest, stock out of the packet, I would say probably not that worth it. I know that might be unpopular and whatnot, but I don't feel the Pom on Pom is making a massive difference right now. If you take the effort to lube them, and even if you do a quick and dirty speed lube, I'm sure that they would be very much a really gliding kind of switch. It possibly might be better with a lighter spring weight too, just as a random comment, because you know the clears are super lovely stock and very smooth, but they've got a very light spring. So if you take out the 50 gram or 55 gram springs in this and you swap them with say clears, maybe that might actually make a big difference, because you're getting less resistive push that is, you know, causing the stem to be rubbing on these bump rails as well. So there you go, there you have it. NovelKeys X Kale, or however you want to call it, Kale X NovelKeys, or NovelKeys Cream Switches made by Kale. I don't know. These days I'm not quite sure what the convention is, but I do like the color. It's very retro, so I'm going to pop that in here next to this Gatoron clear into my switch plate, which is getting very crowded now. I'm going to have to look at alternative options for adding more switches into it. There you go. So once again, thank you to whoever it was that may have donated these if I didn't buy them myself. Really appreciate that. Apologize for not remembering exactly who it was. And I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts in regards to the cream switch. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you're not yet subscribed to this channel, would love and appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to keep up to date in regards to all of our new content, hit that bell button to get notifications as well. So there you have it. Thanks very much for coming along and checking out the video. And of course, as usual, until next time, happy clacking.